We continue with our Discernment of Spirits Mondays, and it's kind of cool that today is the memorial of St. Ignatius of Loyola, because all the rules we've been talking about, he wrote them, so maybe a special day today, he'll give us some new insights. We'll see. We've been talking about Rule 9. Why does God allow spiritual desolation? In this rule, St. Ignatius lists 3 reasons. It's not a non-exhaustive list, but maybe the 3 main things, and we already talked about the first one. He gives or allows desolation as a means of healing from our faults, right? To grant us the gift of conversion. This was the first one we talked about last time. The second reason he gives, we're going to talk about today, and I'm gonna read that portion of the rule. Then we'll unpack it a little bit. He says, the second, to try us and see how much we are and how much we extend ourselves in his service and praise without so much payment of consolations and increased graces. So the second reason why the Lord allows desolation is as a trial. And the gift that he wishes to bestow upon us is the gift of spiritual learning. And so Father Gallagher, who wrote this book explaining the rules, gives a very, I think, beautiful image of kind of what this may look like. He gives the image of a soldier who is fighting for his country in an important war, saving the country from being invaded. And there comes a time in the war where the country is running out of resources, and so they have to have a talk with the soldiers, and they say, hey, we're getting close to winning the war, but we are running low on resources, and so we will not be able to pay you like a salary what was left for the rest of the war. And so Father Gallagher explains how there can be 2 attitudes of a soldier. There's a soldier who is more of a mercenary, who says, oh, you're not gonna pay me? Well, I was in it just for the money, really, and so if you're not gonna pay me, I'm out. And he just stops fighting because he really doesn't care what happens at the war. He was just there because he was getting paid. Well, there is a soldier who is a patriot, who is there as a way of living. Of course, he needs the payment, but he's also there because he really cares about his country. He loves his country, and so he's gonna continue to fight even though no payment is going to be happening for the next couple months. He loves his country, and so he fights. And so similarly, something like that can happen to our relationship with the Lord, that we could be mercenaries with him. That we're like, yes, Lord, I want to serve you, but because you're giving me all these sweet and beautiful consolations, if you're not going to give me the sweet and beautiful consolations, I don't know, Lord. I don't know if I'm in it for it, right? So, of course, that's not how we want to follow the Lord. I'm sure you don't want to follow the Lord like that, and neither does the Lord want us to follow him like that, because then it means like it's not our relationship of love, right? And he wants to draw us deeper in our relationship of love. And so we could see here, for example, right, if the Lord allows a spiritual desolation, how there can be great learning when we begin to see, oh my gosh, I am a little bit of a mercenary with the Lord. When he's giving me these beautiful payments, I'm like, yeah, like I'll do anything you want, Lord. And then he decreases the payment a little bit, and we're just so weak. We're so weak. We start trembling, right? And so you can see how there's a benefit here in learning because it allows us to see where our heart is and to deepen really our intentions of how we follow the Lord. As we've talked about before, of course, consolation is going to come back, but we can take this learning away. And there can be other learnings too, like how little we are. I remember one time I experienced some desolation a couple years ago, and it allowed me to see how much faith was a gift. I did not enjoy the experience, but I think oftentimes we can take the gift of our faith for granted. Like, oh yeah, I have faith, like, of course, yeah, like, great. But, the catechism and the church has always taught that faith is a gift given by God. And that time allowed me to learn, oh my gosh, it is a gift. Like, I have to beg for it. Because it was kind of difficult that I felt like I had to ask the Lord, I need you to give me faith. Otherwise, I'm not gonna have faith. And so it was a learning of saying, yeah, faith indeed is a gift, and it's not something that I kind of have built myself, right? It was a great learning that the Lord allowed me to gain from that time. Um, but again, it's all for the sake of helping us to draw us closer to Himself. So this is the second reason that St. Ignatius points out today of why the Lord allows spiritual desolation, to give us a gift of spiritual learning. Next week we'll cover the third and last for this rule.